guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. I've missed you guys. I haven't seen you for a few days. I had a little bug here, but I'm just happy to be able to jump on to spend some time with you guys and talk through some of this stuff today. So let me say hello to you guys, and then we will talk about what we're gonna do. So, hello, sexy wild thing, McLovin, freaking Papa Elvis Claus. Hey, Mama Lou. Hey, Nana Banana. Rock Painting Lady. Hey, Kelly P. Hey, Indy Listens. Mama 4, Claudia, Stephanie, Cutie Pie, Pointer Lover, Adrian, Artemis Prime, Neat Noodle, Harlot. Good to see you guys. Hey, Tony. Hey, Boo Sheet. Hey, David. Let's see. Hey, Tiffany. Hello to anybody that I missed. Hey, Tiff. Hey, Deb and PA. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Aaron. Shelly Beans. Okay, so I don't know if you guys were here during my last live on this case. Oh, thank you for joining, Amethyst Wolf. Welcome. Thank you so much. So on the last live I did on this case, we actually got the court documents. Tiffany, which thank you so much, Tiff, sent us the documents. Well, they were very graphic. So I did private that video, but I since went in and made graphics, and I marked the calendars for at least the days where all of these offenses began. Now, today, Plunder put out a video where she shows a photo that was actually just the day before the first incident that we have knowledge of. Hey, Music City Mom. Hubby is not enjoying retirement too much. He fell and broke, oh my gosh, every bone in his ankle. They're putting screws and pins in tomorrow. I hate that. You guys have just been through it and just got finished, and now this. But I hope he gets better soon. Hey, Queen Bella. Music City Mom, thank you for gifting 5 memberships, and welcome, you guys. So I went in and I marked some dates on that calendar. I'm actually going to bring you to that video by Plunder, to the timestamp. We're going to talk about a few articles that have came out in the last few days, and then I thought that we would go through some TikToks. So we have a few things to go through. Welcome, Hummingbird Watcher. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. Sorry, there's a car driving by. I am outside. I'm kind of I'm really excited to just spend time with you guys. The stuff that we're going to talk about, it's not pleasant stuff, but it's always good to see you guys and just kind of relax. So let me go ahead and I'll pull up the picture first. Let's start there. And I'll show you the little where I marked on the calendars. And so this was the photo. And this comes from Jen's Instagram, which she's now made private. And it was dated for June the 20th of 2019, just the day after the first incident that like I said, that we have knowledge of. So this is June and July of 2019, and these are the dates that were marked in, not only in the 60 new charges, but I also went back and marked those 2 dates that we had previously, from which one was Maddie's 11th birthday, February the 22nd of 2022, and then one was like shortly after that in March of 2022. So I am curious if any of you guys see any patterns in these dates. So if you do, let me know. Oh, 99 Problems. I missed this. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. Been here for a bit. Okay, so we have June and July of 2019. Then we skip forward to February of 2022. So I'm really curious, what, if anything, took place in between there. Then we have 2 days in March of 2022. This is July 2022. And each day that is marked on here with the blue X, these are the days where, they have evidence that they're using against Stefan. So, and then June of 2023. Oh, Nana, thank you for rejoining. Hey, Sprinkled Donut. Let's see. COVID, he didn't offend. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about COVID with this, but yeah, that's there. It's definitely like more in the summertime. Yeah, summertime, which we have the couple of spring incidents. Yeah, just a baby. He said recovery will be months. He just got done with radiation. That's what I was thinking, Music City Mom. I'm so sorry for you guys. Hey, Rainbow Mom. Y'all should see me sitting out here in my big hoodie blanket. And hey, Mayla's mom. Driving my son and his friend to work. We'll drive safe. Okay, so let's go over to this video of plunders, okay? And we're going to start. I have it like pretty much right at...
Once again, Jen found herself paying a fine, this time $264 to get out of that traffic snafu in a receipt.
She goes through a timeline, including, her previous marriage and some things like that in this video. And I'm going to link the video in the chat right now. We're just going to watch the part that is relevant to our discussion.
Dated months later. But did Jennifer have any inkling that she had bigger fish to fry at home? Did she have any awareness that something was going terribly wrong with her new boyfriend Stearns and his treatment of Jen's daughter? June 19th, 2019. That is the first recorded mistreatment of Maddie by Stearns, according to his arrest record. Sadly and shockingly, the very next day, on Thursday, June 20th, 2019, Jen posted a photo or video within her My Shenanigans Instagram.
It says, "These two completely have my heart."
Reel that displays Maddie as an 8-year-old girl on the shoulders of Stern. Maddie has her little hands on each side of Stern's temple as if she doesn't really want to touch him. They are in a swimming pool, and Jen wrote atop the photo, "These two completely have my heart."
I'd also noticed the way she's holding her hands, like, oh God, I just cannot picture what this little girl must have been thinking at this time. It's just truly so sad. I have a question for you guys. Oh yes. Thank you, Neat, for reminding me. I saw that before we got started. K-Brace, thank you for being a member for 10 months. I don't know why it didn't save in the, and thank you for the sweet comment. Okay, so I have a question for you guys, and this is just something I was thinking about over the weekend. Like, why are you interested in true crime? What is it that brings you to true crime? Like, I know that some people come in because they're very passionate, to stand up for children or people, women or whatever, for victims. Some people are interested in the forensics. Like for me, I think a huge part of it for me, I'm interested in the forensic. I also care very much about the victims and that kind of thing. But a huge part of it for me is I think I need to know what's going on. Like, I never want to feel like I have my head like in the sand, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on around me. Hey, peace and serenity. For me, it's the awareness. Kathy says psychology. Collide hope how people think. That's a huge thing for me too, because I want to understand the way their brain works. The physiological part of it and the victims never being forgotten. The victims need a voice, and I love forensics. Hey, Wolfie. Music City Mom says I'm interested in all of it. Tiff said I don't pose like that with my real daddy, and he never asked me to get on his shoulders in a swimsuit. No. 10 says I have no why I'm here. Lip locked. Good to see you, lip locked. She says I've been a victim of crime. I'm naturally curious and awareness. So I think a lot of people, that's another reason I think a lot of people are interested in it. They've also been a victim of, crime in their life, or one of their loved ones was a victim of some kind of crime. I just think that's interesting because, like, during my last live, I remember, we were just talking about how some cases don't really get a lot of attention and other cases do. And I just started wondering, like, what actually drew me to it initially. And I think that it's just wanting to know what's going on out there, not having any unknown like horrors waiting for me around the corner that I'm unsuspectingly walking into, that kind of stuff. I've learned a lot what people do. Tiff says it's inappropriate. Well, it's definitely infuriating looking at the picture now. Deb says, I was obsessed with Gabby, but this weekend was too close to home. A coworker was murdered. Oh my gosh, Deb. I am so sorry. Tess says victims advocacy and the psychology for me. Hey, Mia, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Just dropped in to show some love and get back to work. Love y'all. We love you too. Thank you for being here. Human behavior, says Christina. Peace and serenity to stand by and support the victims, and the deep dive into what happened and hopefully why and how it can be stopped from happening again. Well, I think that it's just interesting to think about, because we always even when we had the cyber sleuth discussions around that documentary, and what's appropriate and not appropriate for true crime, and what's appropriate for creators to do versus what's not appropriate, and all that kind of stuff. And I guess it would really all just depend on why you're there. We shouldn't be surprised to see people disrespecting victims or cases if they're there for selfish reasons, you know what I mean? And that kind of stuff. And it's just a thought that I enjoy watching the trials and also searching for the missing. I want justice for the victims and to see to it that these monsters go to jail for life. I like getting into their minds and figuring things out. Nanine says, I find forensics interesting, psychology, and just really enjoy watching the entire legal process and advocating for justice for victims. I've been thinking this true crime isn't new, or maybe I'm the only person that spent too many nights with their mama watching Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted as a youngin'. Oh my gosh, KN, that just reminds me of my childhood, because that's my first glance at true crime was with my grandma. She watched me, and it was with the O.J. Simpson trial. And then also I loved Unsolved Mysteries as well. Okay, so let's keep going for a second. I want to show you that's all really I meant to play of Plunder's video. However, if you didn't get to watch it, here it is in the chat. So you can save it and watch it later. Let's go back to here. I have a bunch of TikToks I want us to watch, some that there's actually an interview with her mom that I had never seen. It's in Spanish. I don't know if you guys had seen it. Some clips from the behavioral panel I didn't see because I didn't actually watch that. We watched some clips of it. Just some different things I want to show you guys. But first, I had also grabbed just a couple little pictures. Look at her there. Oh my gosh, so little. Precious. Those big, pretty eyes. That one, my God. I went over to TikTok and found it on TikTok. Is where I was it, because in Plunder's video, I tried to get a screenshot from her video, but the picture moves and the full thing was never on there. So that is why I had to go to TikTok. Her birthday. Okay. Here's a picture of her and her mom. Okay, this right here is a picture of Jen with Stefan in 2018. So, closer to the beginning of their relationship. Okay, so now, before we go to the TikToks that we're going to watch, I also have some videos and stuff that we may look at. But I grabbed a couple articles. So he's I guess on a fast pace rate to trial for these. He's not been charged with her murder yet before these other charges. And so I grabbed a couple articles I want to read about that, and then we'll go and watch some stuff together. Hey, Lady V. So this is just about that affidavit with the video I took down. I'll just read through it briefly for you guys. So an arrest affidavit for Stefan Stearns, the prime suspect in Madeline's disappearance and death, revealed new allegations of sexual battery, molestation, and child pornography-related crimes that date back to 2019. The state attorney's office filed 60 new charges against Madeline's mother's boyfriend on Tuesday. He's not yet been charged with the murder of the 13-year-old, despite law enforcement's belief that he allegedly moved her body, which was found in rural Osceola County on March 1st, several days after she was reported missing. Okay, sorry, there was a truck that pulled up and got pretty loud. Stearns remains in custody at the Osceola County Jail. He was arrested on the 28th and charged with sexual battery and possession of child sex abuse materials. So all the dates on the calendar that I marked come from these 60 charges, plus those for other two that we had already known about in February and March of 2022. The 60 new charges are as follows. There's 8 counts of sexual battery of a child under 12, 5 counts of sexual battery with a child aged 12 to 18, 7 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation, and 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images. The document does not name a victim, but does include a date range of how long Stearns has allegedly been in possession of graphic materials, or when the alleged abuse started, June 19th of 2019. That range tops out on February 26, 2024, which is the day Madeline was last seen. A previous affidavit from Kissimmee Police Department said Stearns performed a factory reset. While it remains unclear who the victim or victims are, if one of them was Madeline Soto, she would have been 8 years old when the alleged crimes began. The affidavit said Stearns was in a position of familial or custodial authority when he allegedly committed a handful of the sexual batteries. It also remains unclear exactly how many images he was allegedly in possession of, but each count says he was in possession of 10 or more images. That means he could have been in possession of at least 400 images of any form of child pornography. The state attorney's office defined what child pornography is in this incident entails in the arrest affidavit. That definition, along with the breakdown of the other charges, can be found below. So sexual battery refers to oral, anal, or female genital penetration by or union with the sexual organ of another, or the anal or female genital penetration of another by any other object. However, sexual battery does not include an act done for a bona fide medical purpose. Lewd and lascivious molestation is a person who intentionally touches in a lewd manner the breast, genitals, genital area, or buttocks, or the clothing covering them of a person less than 16 years of age. Unlawful possession of materials, which, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but it's defined as knowingly possess any photograph, motion picture, exhibition show, representation, image, data, computer depiction, or other presentation which in whole or in part the person knows to include any sexual conduct by a child, and in doing so possess 10 or more images of any form of child pornography, and the content of at least one image contains one or more of the following: a child who is younger than 5, sadomasochistic abuse involving a child, sexual battery involving a child, sexual bestiality involving a child, or any movie involving a child, regardless of length and regardless of whether the movie contains sound. So let's just watch this video. Actually, there's a couple little video clips I want to play from these articles that I grabbed. Just horrific, though, what her little life.
The prime suspect in the Maddie Soto case, Stephen Stearns, now facing 60 new charges. Court documents show that his alleged crimes date back to June of 2019. Those charges include 13 counts of sexual battery on a child, 7 counts of molestation, and 40 counts of unlawful possession of material depicting sexual performance of a child. Investigators say those images were found on his phone during their search for Maddie. So far, no murder charges have been filed. Stearns is expected to be in court next month. Orlando defense attorney and good friend to G'day Orlando, Mark D. James, is joining us live this morning to talk more about this case. Good to see you, Mark. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. It's always good to talk to you.
So, Mark, these new charges, what is your reaction to them? 60 new charges, that's a lot.
Brenda,
some
thank
of the
you for
charges
joining.
we went through the affidavit, are so despicable and hard to read that we weren't even able to tell everybody, what exactly was in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of navigation that law enforcement is doing in this case. We now in Florida have a law basically which says that you can get the death penalty for sexual battery on a child.
So these charges that he is facing without the murder included, he could get the death penalty.
Who's under 12, 11 or younger.
He's not getting out anytime
soon. So now
soon.
it appears that there's allegations that Madeline was sexually abused when she was that age. So we now have in Lake County, for the first time in Florida,
I'm not sure.
seeking the death penalty for somebody else who was accused of sexually battering a child 11 or younger. And so I think that not gone up to the United States Supreme Court yet. So I think that the state in this case wants to assure that they can get the death penalty on the murder case, which there's no reason to push that, simply because they've got them held on no bond. So they're taking their time to make sure that they can do everything that they need to do.
So that's just his opinion, though. It's interesting of why there may not be murder charges yet. I mean, he's not getting out for a long time already with what they've got, if he's found guilty. Hey, Melissa Jade. Linda says, did this child never go to the doctors? Well, I'm glad you asked that because it brings something up I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, there has to be ways that we can let our kids know that they can come to us about this stuff. I mean, just the thought of her for years, potentially keeping this secret, it's devastating. I think that we have to start talking to our kids about this stuff, and, we can get ideas and tips from each other on how to do that or whatever, but I just think it's important. Now, the doctor, I would think that nearing the age that she was at, she would be nearing her first pelvic exam. But I don't know. I guess that kind of depends. I still remember like the first time that was brought up for me when I was a kid at my pediatrician. I was like, 6th, 7th grade. And I remember the nurse was saying, like, was a family member of ours. And she was telling my mom, like, people have complained about this doctor's exams, pelvic exams. So I would opt out and just tell them you're taking her to the gynecologist or whatever. But still, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. Maria says, talk to your kids all the time about it. Remind them it's not a one-time talk when they are 6. Hey, Willy Wonka. Hey, Jonesin. I thought they had yearly exams. I mean, I don't know as far as like of their like sexual reproductive system, when that would begin. But this is just what we have record of because of the evidence that they got off of his phone. This is not, I mean, I'm surely to God, there were times that other things happened that he didn't take photo or video of. It's just a living nightmare this child was going through. And it's something that, I think that we need to talk about because we want our kids to feel comfortable talking to us about this stuff. I recently, had talked to a loved one of mine to ask them and make sure that, you have to ask the questions. It might be uncomfortable or whatever, but you have to do it. It's important. So if you came in late, I had marked on the calendar because I took down my live where we were live and we got the affidavit of these 60 new charges during the live. It was pretty graphic, but I wanted to go in and make some graphics so you guys could see every date that was mentioned in there. Now, this is Madeline's 11th birthday. February 22nd, 2022. This was not in the 60 new charges, this one and one of these from March was in previous charges. Then we have July 2022. There's a time period where we don't have anything, right? From June and July 2019 to February 2022. And then that year, February 2022, there's quite a lot. We have 1 instance in February, 2 instances in March, 4 in July, and 1 in August. And then the following June of 2023, I mean, here's 5 instances in the last 3 weeks of June. That's a good idea, Dave. Or someplace where kids would feel safe to speak out. I don't know the answer. I just don't know it. So sick and sad, and that baby still smiled. I don't know how. Yeah. That's only what he filmed. Exactly, cray cray. How on earth is a defense attorney going to do this case? I was wondering the same thing. Why are you even taking this to trial? So mainly summer months. Yep. And I'm what, is that really? And this has been even on court TV. I'll show you guys in a minute. And then the TikToks that we might watch, people are curious. Where's Jen? Where's mom? Like, we haven't heard anything from her. We don't really know the details of her work schedule through these years. And, maybe that played a role. I'm not really sure, but here, let's see. I saved this just because it's former state attorneys giving their commentary on the case. So come on now. Don't know why it's giving me trouble. Well, we'll skip around and we'll go to these TikToks that I wanted to show you guys, and we'll come back to it. But yeah, his trial date is set for May the 13th. Well, here's an article I grabbed on the trial. I can at least read you basic details on that. There's not too much out there anyways. So Stefan's trial date set after state attorney's office tacks on 60 additional charges during Madeline Soto case. Stefan Stearns is headed to trial. The prime suspect in the disappearance and death of Madeline Soto, who was last seen February 26, is scheduled to appear for a jury trial on the morning of May 13th. This date is subject to change at the discretion of the judicial process. He has a pre-trial hearing on April the 24th. I mean, this is going to be coming up soon. Oh, also, by the way, Chad Daybell is about to go to trial. I don't know if you guys remembered that. And today, and I made a community post about it, a judge ruled that Chad Doberman's confession had to be thrown out, which we went over. If you guys were here, we went over, his attorney's motions about his rights being violated, and the judge agreed. Stearns has not yet appeared in court after being arrested on February 28th. He was scheduled to appear on those charges on March 2nd, but was a no-show. If you remember, we watched, his attorney did not even want his charges being read out loud. He was aware of what he was charged with. Which, okay, so let's go to the first TikTok, and the first one is actually a behavioral panel clip, but, and we'll just go from there. You get whatever load. Seagulls. Yes, they are. They're all over the place. Loud. Okay. I still can't get over the fact that, whoa, what did I do? I still can't get over the fact that, they believe that Dawn Wells was telling the truth. Okay. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know why it's just being annoying loading so slow, but it's loading. Here we go.
When he asked what Madeline was wearing last,
What was she wearing?
she swallows, and then she starts giving a prepared answer that starts with, she was last seen.
No, I
She was
didn't,
last seen
Jonesy.
wearing a green hoodie.
That's dispatcher talk. That's not the normal vernacular for normal walking around everyday people. That's what the dispatcher says. She was last seen wearing this, giving the information to whoever's doing the search, or when the search starts, or when they're looking for whoever it is, or when the police officers show up to the scene. So that's odd as well. So she's thought about that. So there's something going on there. After that, the fading facts on the end when she says, that's about it. See, that's about it. It goes really quiet. So something's up here as well. This is something's not right here.
Something's not right here. I mean, we still haven't heard anything, but
All right in here.
and I'm of the belief that we should, give her grace until there's a charge. I feel like I was saying that I felt like at this point, if she was involved, she would have been arrested because they've obviously got, if there's electronic evidence of it in any of their phones or stuff at home, they've already got proof of that. But he has also not been charged with murder yet. So maybe I'm totally wrong there. Okay. Now let's see what this one was. I just saved like a several of them and I don't even remember why. I should have labeled them, but I didn't. And I'm going to keep looking for your comment, Jensen, about the school calendar. But I do want to.
The case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell.
Just quickly, you said we don't need that confession, in my opinion. And I think that you're right, because we've got two eyewitnesses, his wife and his stepdaughter, and all kinds of other evidence, including the gun that was sitting right beside of him on the steps when he was arrested. But it's still just makes me angry. It's really unfortunate that they're having to throw evidence out. And, come on, man, when he asked for an attorney, I don't know. I just don't see why. I know that it has to be emotional for these cops to remember how pissed off they were. Can you imagine getting to a scene like that and just seeing somebody sitting on their steps casually smoking a fucking cigarette while their children lay slaughtered in the yard? Like, that would be so infuriating, but okay. Here it is, Allie. You can look up her school calendar and compare to see it was during school breaks. That would explain a little more because of mom working. That's a really good idea. And I'm going to do that. The confession is unnecessary and not needed. If she's checked herself into a mental hospital, could be the reason for no arrest. I've seen some speculation about that. People saying that she's had some kind of mental break. Jen says, yes, she would have been arrested. The behavioral panel has that little girl that adopted family, said she was an adult. The behavioral panel had it all wrong. Ooh, thank you, Tess. You got the school calendar that fast? Awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's listen to this. Okay, you got to watch this. I don't know if I just hadn't seen this angle of this interview at first or what, but she's sitting there
Soto, the case has moved.
Twitching her legs, bouncing them back and forth. Hold on.
The case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at two agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment.
I just can't imagine, though, knowing that you are the person that put this predator around your child. You know what I mean? I think that it would just be so hard to forgive yourself for that. I don't know. It's just really sad situation all around. Okay.
Ya no está en Instagram, pero este era.
So this is the one. This is November 10th, 2018. And this is the post where I took that screenshot and I told you guys this is from her Instagram. I do know she's changed her name on Facebook. But this is where that picture came from that I showed you guys a minute ago.
Ya no está en Instagram, pero este era el nombre y este video es del 2018 y ya él estaba en la vida de ellas. Ya no está en Instagram, pero este era el nombre.
Do we think
y
she's
este
had a
video es del
breakdown?
2018
Possible.
y ya él estaba en la vida de ellas.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I hope she's okay. And, I don't know. I just be careful of what I say regarding mom right now. She's a victim, so at this point too.
We know now that she uses this single shrug as a social acceptance.
Come on. Come on.
We know now that she uses this single shrug as a social acceptance gesture, since we saw it really pronounced when she was mentioning that Madeline has ADHD.
She's got ADHD.
So she's socializing the issue of having spoken to everyone.
You've contacted and went through every single person.
Everyone that we know that she knows.
So she's introducing more difficulty here and complexity again, saying they've literally contacted everyone possible. There's no more people that can be contacted, which insinuates nothing more can be done. She's also adding here that people have searched for her.
They're going all out right now.
Which is very different from asking for help. In many ways, this can be seen as something that's lessening the need for any assistance or help from people, and no mention of getting Madeline back home. Essentially, she's saying that all that can be done is either happening or has already happened. And at this point, I would assume she most likely knows the location or disposition of Madeline.
Interesting. See, for me, I kind of took it as like her saying we dropped her off. I kind of took it as she knows people are going to say, what if he didn't drop her off? That kind of thing. So she was trying to keep people from questioning too much. Not necessarily because, hold on. Okay, a victim of what? You took my attention, so I totally lost my train of thought. I'm saying, like, at this point, her daughter was murdered, so, she is technically a victim. If she had no idea anything was going on and she didn't play a role in it, then, she's a victim of his as well. Not saying that she would have no fault in it at that point still for maybe not knowing what was going on right under her own nose. I'm just saying, like, that she hasn't been arrested yet. So now I wish I knew what I was going to say, but I can't remember. Hey, Roxanne. I really like Chase with Behavioral Panel. Despite not enjoying the show, he's highly intelligent, and I've learned a lot from him. Hey, Amber Lou. Love you too, and thank you. Maddie is a victim. She stopped being a victim when she lied and said she saw her getting dressed for school. She's a liar. Well, I just think it's interesting that we have the police or the news pointing out that she's lied, but we don't hear that from police, and they haven't arrested her yet. You need to check out the video Deception Detective did on her. So I think, for you guys in the chat to have your opinions or whatever is absolutely fine. And I have my opinions too, but I just want to be careful because I've been wrong before, and I don't want to, I've been wrong before multiple times. I've even, towards parents who weren't necessarily the perfect parents, but haven't been arrested, like in Summer's case. But I've also been wrong at other times watching interviews and being like, ooh, this person looks shady. They're lying, and they weren't lying. So I just think, to try to be responsible with my platform, it's best to keep it there for now. Lisa says, did you hear about that mom that threw her baby down a drain tube? Yes, I did. And the water was we talked about that case in True Crime News. She didn't actually drown. The water was up to her chest, but she died of hypothermia. Is that the one? Oh, love you, Nana. Thank you. I'm feeling so much better. Joneson says, I watch all of the behavioral panels, but I do find sometimes the stuff they put out can be dangerous. I mean, I think that I totally agree with you. I think that you're right. Especially because people really trust them, and they're like, well, if they think that you're guilty for sure. Preschool Granny says, I think they're watching her every move. Tiff says, okay, I get it. Yeah. But I definitely see where you guys are coming from. I just think that It's just where I'm at right now. Okay, so this is a video I saved, which is
Founders Creek Middle School family.
Middle School of Madeline Soto's message to parents.
See additional. Founders Creek Middle School families, this is Principal McConnell. I wanted to call and make you aware that you might see additional law enforcement officers in the area near our campus. As you might have heard, the Orange County Sheriff's Office is continuing to search for missing 13-year-old Madeline Soto. She was last seen heading to school on Monday morning. While we continue to assist in the investigation, we ask that you immediately contact law enforcement if you have any information that can assist them in locating Madeline. Please check the Orange County Sheriff's Office social media accounts.
So they put this call out to, other parents at the middle school. And Claus, thank you. I so love listening to your outlooks as well, all you guys in the chat. Oh, Tiff, I love you and your opinion, so it's all right. I just thought it was interesting to hear and see this.
To view the missing child alert that includes a photo. We would appreciate your help and thank you for listening.
Okay. So let's see what else I grabbed. The next one looks like it's got Mom and Stefan on it again from the interview, but I can't remember what it was. So let's just see.
She is not stable.
Oh,
She was all.
This is one of Stefan's friends talking about Jen.
She is not stable. She was all over the place. Yeah. 1 minute, totally happy, laughing, joking. The next minute had to go outside to the car so that she could bawl her eyes out, and then come back in totally happy, apologetic for it the whole time. She's super bipolar. Her meds aren't right,
Hey, Jennifer. Okay. This might be the interview that I tried to grab that I hadn't seen. It's in Spanish, but let's see.
En la mañana la llevó mi novio para la escuela, la dejó al lado.
Okay. Let me try to zoom it.
De la iglesia, que queda ahí al lado de el middle school.
Okay, I'm gonna be able to zoom in because there are captions on the screen, and as long as you don't expand, you can zoom in. But
en la mañana la llevó mi novio para la escuela, la dejó al lado de la iglesia, que queda ahí al lado de el middle school. La dejaron ahí y que ella se puso a caminar.
My boyfriend took her to drop her off. He left her there. She started walking and he drove and left.
Y él manejó y se llevaron
They brought dogs.
perros a ver si cogen el olor de ella.
Have you
por
guys
ahí.
seen this?
Creo que ahorita están investigando.
They're investigating right now.
Los videos que quedan por la calle.
The videos that are left on the street.
Sí, hay un video de una iglesia que queda.
There is a video of a church that is next to the school.
Al lado de la escuela donde creen que ven
where they think my daughter goes.
Que alguien se llevó mi hija.
What does your instinct tell you? She said that someone took my daughter in my heart. I'll play it again without pausing, but so you guys know. Now, I do think it's really interesting that her behavior seems much more natural now. She doesn't have this guy in behind her cracking his knuckles and,
En mi corazón alguien se me llevó mi hija. Porque no es normal que ella se va así como así. To run away, ella no es ese tipo de persona.
Familiares afirman que en el hogar no hubo ninguna discusión ni motivos para que la joven se fuera de la casa.
Por favor, que me la regresen.
Please give her back to me. Make sure she is healthy. Make sure
Que
she
sana,
is
que esté bien.
well.
Solo quiero que la
I just love her. I just want her back. Had you guys seen this, and does it feel more natural to you as well than the video with him, you know, behind her back? And I'm going to start it over and just let it play.
En la mañana la llevó mi novio para la escuela, la dejó al lado de la iglesia que queda ahí al lado de el middle school. La dejaron ahí y que ella se puso a caminar y él manejó y se llevaron perros a ver si cogen el olor de ella por ahí. Creo que ahorita están investigando los videos que quedan por la calle. Hay un video de una iglesia que queda al lado de la escuela donde creen que ven mi hija.
¿Qué te dice ese instinto de madre?
Que alguien se llevó mi hija. En mi corazón alguien se me llevó mi hija. Porque no es normal que ella se va así como así. To run away, ella no es ese tipo de persona.
Familiares afirman que en el hogar no hubo ninguna discusión ni motivos para que la joven se fuera de la casa.
Por favor, que me la regresen, que esté sana, que esté bien. Solo quiero que la regresen.
She'd be like, oh yeah, I could do it. Era esa joven atrevida que hacía lo que fuera por ver a otros sonreír.
She always had a smile. She was always laughing and giggling.
De carcajada contagiosa.
She was happy. She was pretty.
Alegre, hermosa.
She always saw the good in everybody.
Alguien que veía lo bueno en quienes la rodeaban.
Maddie was like my best friend, right?
Hija, nieta, mejor amiga y hoy también un motivo.
Her little like smile on her face with her cute little moves and
desde donde ella sueña le sonríe con sus hoyuelos.
The amazing, beautiful, incredible blue eye.
Luego de ser señalado como la última persona que tuvo contacto con una menor.
Natasha, they have.
Ya no vivía ahí, vino este fin de semana.
The boyfriend no longer lives there. He came this weekend because, I don't know, but my daughter worked
Pero mi hija trabajó la noche
night
anterior.
before on Sunday, and it seems like she woke up very tired
Y parece
and
que se levantó muy cansada y
told
le
the
dijo al novio
boyfriend
que
to
se la
bring her
trajera.
over.
No se presentó a su primera comparecencia.
Seems more genuine in this video than the other one, in my opinion. I agree. I know her little friends. I agree. And, you know, with him in behind her, that could be why. But they do not know who to charge. That is why no one's been charged without full toxicology. They do not have all the details. Yeah. I mean, maybe they're waiting on toxicology. That's what I would assume. She's already been cremated. She's already had her services. They've already got him on charges that he will never get out with. So, you know, I don't know. Here's the last TikTok I grabbed, and I don't remember why I grabbed this one either. So we'll just figure it out together. I think it was just, no, it's the roommate.
Live. So he moved in with them. And this kid's like an IT wizard. So essentially what happened is a year after that, they had a falling out. And I convinced my buddy to tell me what happened. And apparently what had happened was he had been cleaning up the network and found a shared folder between their computers where Stefan had been secretly hiding a camera in his room and recording his girlfriend coming in and out of the shower.
Oh, jeez.
And from what I understand, there was kid stuff on there as well. And like I said, my buddy was going through a really hard time.
So I didn't listen to all the Friends interviews. I listened to, most of them, but there were a lot, and they started going on different channels and everything. I actually hadn't heard this clip of this particular interview. If I did, it just never sank in. But so he claims that Stefan was hiding a camera in his room and, getting video footage of his girlfriend when she'd come in and out of the shower and she didn't know. But he also mentions there was kid stuff on there too. And that's kind of as far as that goes. But I was like, huh? When I heard that earlier. And Mal, I can't believe you've been a member for a year. Thank you so much. And you guys, if you don't know Mal, you have to go check out her channel. And thank you, Mal. Hopefully it's dropped. Let me see. I'm interested to know if Maddie ever had friends sleep over. I would like to know that too. That's a good question. I stand with Tiffany, Christina said. I love you guys. Here, let me drop some links. No beat crumbs. And help me get Jones in there, but I don't know the command. Dispatch Crystal says, I would be out here bashing this monster everywhere I could, but that's just me. Well, I say I would, but I've never experienced that, and I pray I don't. Okay, so to go to YouTube and grab something really quick, but I was thinking about this earlier. Court TV has even done, and I put their video in here. We can click on it for a second, and then I'll let you guys go, because that's pretty much really all I wanted to talk to you about was put the little calendars out and just kind of touch base with you guys, because I hadn't been on in a couple days. But let me get Amber's link and ooh, thank you. What was it? Jones. Thank you, B Crumbs. There you are. Here I was looking for it too. Look. See? Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Okay. But, a lot of people are talking about where is Jen? She hasn't said anything. She's changed the name on her Facebook account. I'm not surprised. I don't think that really says anything about her guilt or innocence. Look, at the end of the day, let's say she's completely innocent. You are the reason that this monster had access to your baby. That's just that. And that's got to be really hard to deal with, and really hard to face. I could totally see somebody having a breakdown in a situation like this. Okay, so here is the Court TV video. Where is Jennifer Soto? And we will just watch some of it together, I guess, and just chat while it goes on.
8:19, we have evidence that shows Stefan Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
Already dead in the video. This is the man who was the prime suspect in the murder of Madeline Soto, her mother's boyfriend, who she referred to as.
So have any of you guys been watching Vinny on his channel?
Considered him a stepfather or not? That's clearly not how
I keep hearing about it, and I have not went over there and watched yet.
I would not give him that title. So Jen Soto spoke to WFTV
no, I didn't, Lil
to
Red.
recall what happened. And spoke about what happened that morning. Remember, she gave this interview when this was still a missing persons case. Let's watch.
We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday.
Oh, really? That same friend went on Granny's and said he wasn't 100% sure about the child PBM. So that was that same guy from that first interview? Because his voice sounded like the same guy, but I hadn't heard that part. And then that he wasn't 100% sure about it. Huh. Okay, Lil Red, let me see what your comments were before we keep playing. I feel like in the next 3 to 4 weeks, they will have all the info and charge someone or both for murder. Well, you know, whenever my cousin passed away, it was not a murder, or, you know, they never even, I'm sure that they must look into everything, right? But never got the impression that they thought there was like foul play. And it still took 4 to 6 weeks to get the toxicology back. So I think that would have to be the only thing they were waiting on. Now y'all hear the tip coming out. That's just that. According to another information site, they said she was at the mental ward. I saw that. People speculating about that. What did Mom tell Maddie about her missing backpack when Maddie was looking for it for school? Good question, Lisa Lee. Okay.
4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
And Court TV also did another, I don't know if they put a YouTube video out for it, but they did like a video on their website about Madeline's dad. You know, I had showed you guys before, he lives in Texas, but him and his wife both shared multiple posts when she was missing and after, you know, with lots of photos and stuff. I think that they were a big part of her life. I just think they lived far away.
I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
Our guests are back with us. Deborah Randall, how would you approach Mom in this situation? Do you approach her as a witness or as a suspect?
Well, we always approach them to gain the information we need to find this child. And then now that we know this has taken a turn for the worse, to gather the facts to make sure.
So she is a former special agent. Let me see. I'm going to rewind just a second. Yeah, former special agent in charge of GBI.
Now that we know this has taken a turn for the worse, to gather the facts to make sure we bring the person to justice. It is not uncommon that we end up treating some of the mothers in these cases as what we refer to as a hostile witness. You know, I wish I could tell you that I hadn't had a number of cases where we ended up charging the mother for protecting her paramour, is what we call it when we're referring to her partner that she's not married.
For protecting her paramour. Well, you know, I've seen in other cases of like a few years ago, there was a case out of West Virginia when I still lived there. And this man was charged, you know, with physical abuse of his girlfriend's kids, not necessarily sexual abuse, but still physical abuse. And they ended up charging Mom because she knew about it, and, you know, so for failure to protect, because she didn't do anything to get her kids into safety, and she knew what was going on, at least to a degree. So even if they find out in their investigation that, you know, she played no role at all, but maybe she knew, there still is potentially charges that they could give her.
Married to, and oftentimes it's just,
you know, we've got
it puts a child at a higher risk many times when we know that the mother has a boyfriend in the home and they're missing, or there's been an injury. You know, statistically speaking, that's a lot of times who we're looking for.
Kenneth Ralph, if in fact she does have an attorney at this point, how does that change the dynamics here?
Well, presumably she will not be speaking to law enforcement if she has an attorney. And I would echo those comments that it's not hardly uncommon at all that we see a non-offending but non-supportive parent involved who either knows what is going on and turns a blind eye to it, or hinders the investigation in some way after it has started.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think that her having an attorney is necessarily synonymous with her not helping in the investigation. You know, a lot of people have attorneys to help them in any situation that involves law enforcement or the court process. However, if she wasn't cooperating with the investigation, now that would really infuriate me. I know that would infuriate you guys too. That would be some bullshit, because I don't care how much you love this man or thought you loved him. Once you were aware of what he's done, and once he takes your baby off the face of this earth where you will never see her again, I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm not surprised that she's not coming out and publicly, like, you know, saying, publicly denouncing him or whatever. But not helping in the investigation would be a whole nother.
But in this instance, if she has hired a counsel, I'm sure that counsel will tell her not to speak to law enforcement.
Yeah, you guys always do that, Ken. Always. They never talk. Dr. Carol Lieberman, where do you think the mother is mentally at this point?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and it kind of depends upon whether she knew anything about it. You know, if she did know, you know, then she's realizing that everything's going to be coming down on her as well as the boyfriend. If she didn't know, then she'd really be in shock, and she'd be, you know, all the more upset. But
I see Kathy saying, I see you, Lil Red. Yeah, I went back and found your, no, yeah, I read it out loud. Your, well, I don't know if I read that one, but I read the comment out loud where you said it'll probably be 3 to 4 weeks. That's the one I saw. Yeah, I read her comment out loud. Okay.
You know, one of the things the most important thing I think that people need to learn from this case, and I know I said it last time, but you can't say it too many times, this is a typical scenario where these sexual predators find single mothers who have low self-esteem.
Listen up. She says, you know, who have low self-esteem or maybe don't have the best life. She says something like that. Listen up, because look, I know people in my life, my own family members, who are women that fall into this category, and it is so damn infuriating. I am sorry, but stop bringing fucking men around your children. Stop. I don't care, you know, how much you believe they're a great person. I literally have a person in my family who will go on a first date with a man and let him stay at the fucking house on a first date. I don't understand it. It's like, this is what I'm talking about with people with their fucking head in the sand. I want to know what's going on out there. Oh, I just cannot. Okay, let me just keep playing it.
Have, you know, a very exciting life, good life, don't have a boyfriend or a husband, and they swoop in when the mother has a child, and really, you know, they're doing it, they're becoming the boyfriend because they want to sexually abuse the child. So whether she knew or not, you know, consciously or unconsciously knew, that's what she let herself in for, and women have to be so careful of this.
Gray Hughes, what have you uncovered?
Gray Hughes is on there, which is kind of cool, but we will listen to that in a second. Adrian says, Alex, sorry, just getting here. I heard Jen is in a psych unit. She checked herself in, not verified. So I've also seen those rumors, but not verified as well. I missed the comment, what you guys are talking about. I'm someone who's an amazing advocate. I did think why he was with her. Well, remember the comments he made on Reddit about, you know, dating women who are aging and didn't use sunscreen or whatever. It's just like, dude, you are sick. You are a grown man. I don't know. Sorry, but you can't expect the person you're with, like, you've aged, so they're going to age too. That's just life. Lil Red says, it's been that type of day. Started with me chasing down the mail person to get my package that I waited at home to sign for. He never tried to deliver. I'm sorry. I hope your day gets better. Y'all can hold my purse while Soto catches these hands. You are something else. Hold my earrings. Oh, Kate, I wanted to say I saw your comment, and I'm really sorry to hear that. Kate said, my mother brought her abuser around her kids, and yeah, she says my sister broke up with her boyfriend because she found out he was a pedo, and then 2 months later gets back with him and moves her 2 young kids in with them. I have no contact after that. Oh my God. Oh, okay, Mal. Thank you. And thank you, Neat. I just don't understand that. How can you be so desperate? I mean, I'm sorry, but like there's a lot of upside to being single. You get to run your life the way you want, especially when you have kids. You don't. If you don't want to be single, that's fine, but you don't have to bring them around your kids. There has to be a way where you can have a social life without putting your kids in danger. It's possible Jen just had really bad self-esteem and she was just flattered. Well, I could see that to a degree. I know that at least as far as what's being reported is that she had some kind of bypass surgery and had, lost a whole lot of weight and stuff like that. So I could see that. See, Solo sucks. She had weight loss surgery and everything to please this monster. If Jen grew up with pedos, it's their normal until someone hammers it in that it's not. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm really surprised that guy came on panel and kind of walked back that stuff about kid stuff being on there. I guess I'm surprised and not surprised because the way he made the comment was so nonchalant and just kind of moved on to the next thing. But damn, those are major things to throw out about somebody. I wonder how long she was hospitalized and who had her daughter during that time. I do too. And that's a good question. I do think that's a really interesting observation. I'll show people that came in at the end of this video. We'll look one last time at the dates I marked on the calendars that police have noted where the dates that his crimes took place. Someone had observed that there's a gap in there during the pandemic, and I wonder if that's because everyone's at home at that time. I don't know. I guess, I could speculate quite a bit. Taking y'all to Chick-fil-A. Tiff, I wish we had one near me. I was just talking about that earlier to Claus. We don't have one. It's an hour away. All right, let's watch the last 2 minutes.
About the mother and any indication where she is right now.
Well, I have no idea where she is right now, but I'm sure an attorney's probably had her, go low, hide from public eye, make sure nobody can see or talk to her, because the interviews that she did, there's so many people judging her based on how she answered. In my opinion, it's very possible that the information she's telling us was scripted by Stephen Stearns, and she's just kind of repeating. That's why she's kind of looking up in the air, trying to remember what the story is. But
I could see that being possible, but Teacup says, I'm a member of a couple of those Are We Dating the Same Guy groups. It's for warning other women about potential dates. I'm married, but always willing to post for others. That is so cool. I have not even heard of those groups. I love chicken and dumplings lip locked. Yum. Hey, Maria. Scripted. Pepper says, yep. Interesting. I mean, I'm sorry, but her whole demeanor is just totally different in that one versus that interview I showed you guys a few minutes ago in Spanish, where he's not behind her, cracking his knuckles and all that stuff. Which, if we go by what one of those friends said in one of those 11 billion, as Jen would say, interviews, he kind of did that as an intimidation thing. He did that all the time. Now, Kayanne, I don't know. For one, I don't even know that it's 100% verified she had the surgery. That was just what I had seen Plunder reporting. Now, she does show photos of her before, which she looks it looks like it could be accurate. Then going as far as saying she had the surgery for him, I don't know. It's possible, but makes me wonder why he was with her. She obviously wasn't his type. Too old, too big, etc. Was it just to get to Maddie? That's a sin and totally against Texas law, honey. The embarrassment and the thought you allowed your child to be hurt for years and did not notice, I would hide too. Yeah, I could see that.
One of the issues that she does have that I think people should think about is when she said that at 8 a.m. she saw Madeline getting dressed for school. Now that might come back to be a problem for her because at 7:30 in the morning, Stephen Stearns was putting the backpack and laptop into a dumpster, which we would all assume at that point then, Madeline's likely not alive at that point. So
right.
At 8 a.m, how is she seeing her? Now you could say, well, she made a mistake, it was off. Now law enforcement might be able to determine based on digestion or any other elements exactly when she passed away. So when she died, it could have been at, let's say 5 a.m, and that would mean that Jennifer is offering proof of life at 8 a.m. to help support Stephen Stearns' story, right?
But that never made sense anyways, because if you look here, though, the ex-FBI agent here, this woman in the yellow in the bottom left corner, is shaking her head yes to what Gray's saying. So I find that interesting. But, never made sense anyways. She claimed the last time she spoke to her was the night before, but the last time she saw her was that morning getting dressed. And I know Teresa had made the point to me privately, but I think also on her channel that how, like, is that some kind of slip up that you saw her being dressed that morning or something like that? Like, how do you see your kids getting ready for school, but you don't speak to them? The last time you talked to them was the night before. I don't know. I just don't have the answers. She could have seen, there you go, lip lock. That's kind of what Teresa meant. And it's certainly possible. She could have seen her, but she wasn't alive. It's possible. Okay, Adrian. Jen Soto even looks like my mother. Crazy. Wow, Kate. How can she stand there and say that where he pick Maddie up from? Kate thinks Jen totally knew. KN, that makes the term predator, that takes the term predator to a whole mother level. KN. Well, I don't know, you guys. I just don't know. So that was a typo. I thought you did it on purpose. Like, but yeah, I don't know. It's just really sad. So yeah, let me show you guys again for people who came in late. The last time I did a live on this case, we went over those 60 new charges. We know he's going to trial in just under 2 months. And because I took down that video, I wanted to give you guys like a way to visually see when these incidents took place and how often. And I just think like I wanted to see for myself, like seeing it on the calendar like this, it just makes me grasp it like with new understanding. So in 2019, we have June and July. Now, if we look right here on June the 19th, this is the first time that we have any documented, evidence of the assaults taking place against Madeline. I will say her name isn't on there, but even the age lines up because the first charges are between 8 and 12. And then, the ones following that are between 12 and 18. But this photo here was taken the day after the first incident that we have record of. Now, this doesn't mean this is the first incident or the only incidents where, he did something like this. It's just that when he documented it, right? And I would have to think that it's possible that it took place for a period of time before he was brave enough to document it, but I don't know. That's just a guess. I don't know, Tiff. I think people were wondering, is it possible that she was on the because remember they were talking about that footage at the church? So I think people were like, is it possible there was someone dressed like her? Hey, Debbie Doodles. I'm quietly in the bushes. I like staying in the bushes most of the time. Thank you for dropping the links, you guys, and everything. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Roxanne, for being here. It is creepy when you see that pic, Kathy. I think that's why I decided to do this live today, because I hadn't been live for a few days. I've been really sick. Like yesterday, I just was really sick to my stomach for a while. And before that, I had this awful cold. And I really haven't been doing any research or anything. It wasn't until this morning I was kind of back into looking into stuff on my own and watching true crime and stuff. And I was watching Plunder, which she does the video, and in the thumbnail it has this picture and it says, you know, this took place one day after the first incident. Then I went over to TikTok and I saw that interview that she did in Spanish that I hadn't seen before, and just those couple little videos. And I thought, well, I'll do this, since I had to take down that live where we went through the 60 charges. If you haven't seen that paperwork and you want it, you can just reach out to me in an email or a Facebook message. It's on the bottom of the screen, and I will happily send that straight over to you. Someone asked that about doctor's appointments, Tiff. I'd be curious to know the answer to that. Oh, she's definitely a baby there. I mean, oh my gosh. Hey, Chase. I don't believe Jen saw Madeline getting dressed for school. If Stefan was seen 7:35 throwing her backpack, her laptop, she probably passed that earlier that morning, or maybe birthday party. I mean, how fucking sad to think of that. Right after her birthday party? What a sick freak. I mean, can you not even let her enjoy her birthday and her birthday party? Thank you, Kathy. Hey, Selena. You should get an attorney when something like this happens to protect your family. It turns into a circus and they lose sight of what they are doing. Yeah. It's okay. Ignore me. I think Little Red's behind a little bit in the chat. That's why she didn't know I saw her comment. Let me leave her a message. You're behind. Bonnie, my email's on the bottom of the screen. I'm actually in the process of creating a new email, because this email account was made when I was making and selling tie-dye, which I still love to do, but I just haven't been doing. But it's right there on that blue banner at the bottom of the screen. You can reach out to me there or on Facebook, and I'll send you the link to the documents. Okay, so back to the calendar for just to walk you guys through that. So we have a major jump, though. We have these 3 incidents in 2019, then we have nothing in 2020, 2021, at least nothing documented by police. That doesn't mean there's nothing. That's just, what we know of. We have February 22nd of 2022. That's Madeline's 11th birthday. Then these incidents in March 2022, July of 2022, 4 incidents, and then 1 at the beginning of August. And then we jump again to 2023, and we have like several incidents within just 3 weeks. I mean, 5 total within 3 weeks. And, this is just what I can make out of the charges, because the last 20 charges or so, it just says, in between these dates. And there is at least one that is not marked on the calendar in between a specific date in March, I believe, and like February of 2024. So I didn't mark any of the in-between dates, though, because it's like a span of 4 years here, 3 years here, that kind of thing. Have you guys been following with the Raleigh strain case? I'm sure Bendy and I will get back into the calls soon. We're still waiting on video visits and those last calls and all kinds of stuff. Let me just check and see. But I'm just trying to gear like what I'm going to do next and what you guys are interested in talking about. So let me know. And thank you guys for being here. Yeah, still nothing from El Paso County. That new body cam footage seeing Riley is eerie. I don't think I've seen it. Hey, Nicole B. I have. I was in the bushes. Didn't want to interrupt. Hi. Hey. Oh, Vander. I guess, is that Zav getting those, Debbie? Yes, happened in Nashville. A lot of you guys are. Hey, Mystic. The police body cam makes me think he didn't walk into the river. I know you are, Claus. Claus has sent me so much information on that. Like, I didn't want to go live on something I knew nothing about, and I hadn't had the time to really look into it. I like to at least know. It takes me like a lot before stuff really like sticks. When I'm looking at a case or something, I can't just like read or watch something a couple times. It takes more than that to stick. Mo and Co. Hey, Mo and Co. I don't know. There's the other case too that I thought about talking about and just doing like a dedicated live. We talked about it briefly on True Crime News, is the Preston Lord case. Is anybody watching that? I changed my name, Alex. Oh. I'm very familiar with downtown Nashville. I lived close for 18 years, hitting me hard. Well, isn't he from like another state? And he was just there visiting. I heard Pepper. I think the police showed up at 8. It's been because I've been sick and stuff. I don't know. It's not fresh, but I know I've also heard the 8 o'clock is when they came. But then I heard somebody saying like she had called a little bit sooner than that. It just took him time to get there. I don't actually know for sure. I just added on a bit. I was like, wait, who's Mo and Co? Is it Mo? Is it Case? Because that's Mo and Co and Company. Who changed their name? Have you done the Sebastian kid? I worked in Hendersonville, Tennessee for several years while I lived in Nashville. So I haven't actually covered that on here. We've talked about it briefly. You know, I wanted to. So I'll tell you guys, I wasn't sure if I would say this, but my sister-in-law knows Sebastian and is actually the principal at his school. And she reached out to me and she was, you know, she's just beside herself and was kind of asking me, I think she wanted me to talk about it on my channel. She didn't necessarily ask that flat out, but she was asking some questions about that. But no, I haven't covered it. I mean, I'll be honest, like I kept trying to follow along with the details and they just weren't like, I wasn't absorbing it. And I don't know, it's sometimes I have like an interest in a case, and sometimes I cannot force myself to absorb stuff in a case. Sometimes I'll absorb everything because I'm super interested. So it was just, that was really the only reason I hadn't. Chicken shite. All right, you guys, I'm done. I was just chatting with you for a moment before I let you go. Just me, Mo, and all my friends, real and imaginary. Music City Mom has been another, several of my friends are really closely following it, but few people I know have been helping in the search and stuff like that. K-Braze Alley, I get the same exact way, where some cases I just can't even hear about them. And it's not that they're not all important, or you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. Some of them just, I don't know. I don't have the answer. Shane says, because I guess there's 12 hours of pre-text calls, but we've only heard like half. Shane, we actually got those. So we have all the pre-text calls on my channel and Jen Lou's channel. All of them. We got every single one of them. We had only heard like half of them during the trial. But if you look on my channel and on the Ward case studies, you will find all 12 hours of, or however many hours there are. We do have more calls on the way. We have a lot. We have video calls on the way. We still haven't gotten. We ordered the last calls that were ever made from El Paso County Jail, which, you know, there's been some confusion about that. The last calls that were ever made actually took place in October, November, and December of 2022. And so we have those on the way. We have some things coming. It's just taking forever. Is the Nightbot? There it went. It worked. Well, thank you guys for coming to hang out with me and, you know, chat about this stuff and just, yeah, spending your time here. Sebastian Rogers' case is so upsetting. I'm constantly checking for updates. He looks so much like my son, right down to his height and the glasses. I'm so sorry, Teacup. I know. That's really what ultimately, like, I think drew me to Gannon's case so much at first, because he was the exact same age as my son and even like looked similar in ways. But what Lisa about Sebastian? Well, I mean, it's pretty well known everywhere anyways, so it's not. Oh, thank you for being here, Carrie Beth. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Ooh, Riley Strain's family is going to be on Banfield tonight. Thank you, Claus. I don't know where else to look for Sebastian that hasn't been searched. Well, thank you so much for, I didn't want to flat out say I started to, and then I kind of caught myself, but thank you so much, because I know you have put in so much time and effort, and I know you're not doing it for things or anything like that. I'm just saying thank you, because that is just so sweet, and I just appreciate it. Thanks, Shane. All right, you guys, I appreciate you being here. I don't know, when I haven't been on for a while, it's weird. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like things flow as naturally as they usually do. I think that we did pretty good today, but I still, like, I don't know, I'm just not back into the flow of things. That's what I thought you meant, Lisa. But yeah, but like it's pretty well known now, and so that's why I figure, you know. But anyways, hopefully I'll get back into the swing of things. I'll definitely be on again tomorrow. I hope to see you guys there. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great day. And I might see you tonight over on Melissa's in a few minutes. Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Nana. All right, you guys. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for everything. And yeah, again, if you want those documents or the calendars or anything, you can always reach out to me for anything at the contact information that's in the banner. And yeah, I will see you soon. Thank you for everything. Bye. Oh, Nicole, I don't make the melts. No, my friend Nay does the music melts. And did that get dropped? Is that why you ask? If not, let me drop it just in case. Nay makes them and she does a really good job. They are the bomb. And her packaging is so cute. It's just a whole experience. If you ever try them, she gave me a code, which it's not a code where like I'm earning commission telling you guys about it. I don't earn anything. It just gives you a discount. It's tie-dyed kindness in capital letters, and you can get 20% off. And yeah, if you ever get them, let me know, because it just really is a whole experience. Please keep Music City Mom's hubby in your thought and prayers. We definitely will. Oh, you ordered some the other day. Have they came yet? Oh my gosh. If they haven't, I can't wait for you to get them, because yeah, she goes all out with her packaging and everything. It's just really cool. Really little special little wax melts, little company, whatever you want to call it. But okay, you guys, if I don't press end, I will sit here and say goodbye forever. Okay, I can't wait for you to get them. Let me know what you think when you do. But yeah, if I don't click end, I'll sit here and awkwardly say goodbye for like 20, 30 more minutes. And none of us have time for that shit. So I'll just see you tomorrow. Thank you for everything. Thank you to the mods. Have a good night. Bye.